6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala, assisted by Sanjay, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President stated that through the Urume program, the government's intent is to express gratitude to farmers. The Premier observed the progress of Malwatu Oya project. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunodhana inaugurated the renovated railway line in between Mihintale and Anuradhapura. A special toll-free railway service will be operated from Anuradhapura to Mihintale from today until Poson Poe Day for the benefit of devotees. Geo Govia app saved 573 million rupees. Foreign news: Israeli Prime Minister dissolves war cabinet. And in sports, Draper could go top of the world rankings. Murray. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stated that through the Urume program, the government's intent is to express gratitude to farmers who have supplied rice to the country despite not owning the lands. He also emphasized that the current government aims to provide both knowledge and rights to the people, akin to how CWW Kannangara promoted education through free schooling. President Wickremesinghe made these remarks at a ceremony held this morning at the Amilipitiya Mahaveli Stadium. The event was for the awarding of freehold land deeds to 1,524 out of 45,253 eligible settlers in the Mahaveli-Walava region as part of the National Urume program to provide 2 million freehold land deeds. The President participated in the Urume ceremony and the symbolic distribution of land deeds. Addressing the event, President Wickremesinghe further stated that he has instructed all relevant authorities to issue freehold land deeds within the next 2 months. District secretaries, the Land Commissioner General, and the Surveyor's Office will collaborate to expedite the delivery of these land deeds. Local government officials will also contribute, ensuring the efficient implementation of this program. The President further said that for the past 75 years, people have been given land without freehold rights. The Urume program was introduced to grant these legal land rights, marking a significant change. During difficult times, everyone shared the burden. Now that the economy is improving, everyone should benefit, especially the farmers who provide rice to the nation. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunodhana, who observed the progress of the Malwatu Oya project, inspected the plans of the Tantrimale Rajamaha Viharaya today. Through this project, with the Malwatu Oya is the water source and which provides irrigation to 22,000 hectares of agricultural land to produce rice and additional crops, it is expected to generate 50 megawatts of electricity through the installation of solar panels in the Malwatu Oya reservoir, and 1.6 megawatts of electricity is to be generated through the Malwatu Oya small hydropower system. Venerable Tantrimale Chandraratna Thera, Chief Incumbent of Tantrimale Rajamaha Viharaya, State Minister Shahan Semasinghe, and Asoka Priyantha, MPSM Chandrasena, and Anuradhapura District Secretary Janaka Jayasundara participated in this event. Minister of Highways, Transport and Mass Media Bandula Gunodhana inaugurated the renovated railway line in between Mihintale and Anuradhapura today. This year, the Poson Full Moon Poe Day falls on the 21st of June, while the National Posol Week will commence tomorrow, with numerous religious ceremonies planned at Atamasthana in Anuradhapura, and meanwhile, Anuradhapura District Secretary Janaka Jayasundara said it is expected that a large number of devotees will arrive in Anuradhapura and Mihintale for Poson celebrations this year. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Railways has decided to implement a special railway service offering toll-free rides for a week starting from today for passengers heading to Mihintale from Anuradhapura for Poson Poe Day. Moreover, necessary steps have been taken to implement a special bus service from Maho railway station to Anuradhapura for the railway passengers who come from Colombo to Maho. Due to the ongoing renovation activities along the northern railway track between Maho and Anuradhapura railway stations, no trains will be running from Maho to Anuradhapura during this period. Therefore, to accommodate pilgrims' convenience, it has been decided to allocate around 400 additional buses to facilitate this. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The application called Geo Govia has been introduced under the program implemented by the Department of Agrarian Development to introduce new technology for agriculture in Sri Lanka. Accordingly, this application contains the knowledge required for agriculture by the farmers, as well as the information about the services provided by the Department of Agrarian Development. In addition, the Department of Agrarian Development has started accurate mapping of all paddy lands in Sri Lanka using the GeoGovia application. Accordingly, the amount of paddy land that has been completed by the department with this application is 1.91 million hectares. Also, 1.38 million farmers have registered through this application. Sri Lanka's USAID-funded Sri Lanka's Energy Project has received top honours at the 2024 Annual Conference for the Society for International Development, the premier US event for international development professionals. The award was given in recognition of the innovative solar-powered electric vehicle battery swapping stations owned and operated by Sri Lanka's Sling Mobility Private Limited, particularly highlighting the station located at the Centre for Women's Research in Colombo, which generates income to support the centre's activities. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, who observed the progress of the Malwatu Oya project, inspected the plans at Tantirimale Rajamahaviharaya. Through this project, which the Malwatu Oya is a water source and which provides irrigation to 22,000 hectares of agricultural land to produce rice and additional crops, it is expected to generate 50 megawatts of electricity through the installation of solar panels in Malwatu Oya reservoir, and 1.6 megawatts of electricity is to be generated through the Malwatu Oya small hydropower system. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
In Watchlight this evening, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that the water supply in Godagama, Homagama, Panipitiya, Palanwatta, Rukmalgama and Mattegoda areas have been interrupted until further notice. The water supply to these areas has been interrupted due to the damage in the transmission pipeline from the Kalatuana treatment plant. According to reports, the water transmission pipeline from the Kalatuana treatment plant has burst at Godagama near the high-level road owing to a vehicular accident. A car had veered off the road and collided with the water transmission pipeline this morning, causing severe damage to the pipeline. And that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines first. Israeli Prime Minister dissolves war cabinet. Up to 15 reported killed in Indian train collision, and Putin to visit Kim in North Korea this week. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved his 6-member war cabinet just over a week after the departure of centrist opposition leader Benny Gantz and his ally Gadi Eisenkot. Israel media reported that sensitive issues about the war with Hamas in Gaza will now be discussed by a smaller forum. Netanyahu has raised demands from far-right ministers in his governing coalition to join the war cabinet, which could have further strained ties with the US and other international allies. A spokesman for the Israel Defense Force said that as far as it was concerned, it would not affect the chain of command. As many as 15 people have been killed and dozens injured after a freight train collided with a passenger train in India's West Bengal state. The cargo train hit the Kanchenjunga Express in the Darjeeling district of the eastern state on Monday morning, and initial reports suggest that the cause of the accident was human error. India's busy railway records hundreds of accidents every day. Nearly 30 people were injured, and rescue teams from the police and National Disaster Response Force were working with doctors and residents of the area to clear debris from the derailed carriages. Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit North Korea tomorrow and the day after, the Kremlin said, an extremely rare trip that underscores Moscow's burgeoning partnership with the reclusive nuclear-armed state. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un extended an invite to Putin during a visit to Russia's Far East last September. Putin has not visited Pyongyang since July 2000. And back to the headlines of the world news. Israeli Prime Minister dissolves war cabinet. Up to 15 reported killed in Indian train collision. And Putin to visit Kim in North Korea this week. And that ends World News.
Development News.
Sri Lanka's economy showed significant growth, more than anticipated in the first quarter, marking a strong recovery from the severe foreign exchange crisis. While the 5.3% expansion in January to March marked an increase from the previous 3 months and was a huge improvement on the 10.7% contraction in the same quarter last year, the industrial sector has also indicated a sharp recovery, with an expansion of 11.8% in the first quarter, according to the State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siamlapitiya. And that was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports news, Andy Murray believes new British number 1 Jack Draper can go to the top of the world rankings. Draper, 22, won his first ATP title at the Stuttgart Open on Sunday, beating Italy's Matteo Berrettini 3-6, 7-6, 7-5, 6-4. The success helped him move above compatriot Cameron Norrie, 28 in the world rankings. Draper is now world number 31, 8 places above Norrie, who had a poor clay court campaign and suffered an early exit at Nottingham last week and is in a strong position to be seeded at Wimbledon. Meanwhile, France striker Kylian Mbappe says his new club, Real Madrid, would not let him play at the Olympic in Paris this summer. The 25-year-old, who had said he wanted to play externally in his home games, was not selected in France's provisional Olympic squad on June 3rd because Real said any player competing at Euro 2024 could not play at the Olympics. He has agreed to join Real on a free transfer when his Paris Saint-Germain contract expires on 30th of June. And that was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's USAID-funded Sri Lanka Energy Project has received top honours at the 2024 Annual Conference for the Society for International Development, the premier US event for international development professionals. The award was given in recognition of the innovative solar-powered electric vehicle battery swapping stations owned and operated by Sri Lanka's Swing Mobility Private Limited, particularly highlighting the station located at the Centre for Women's Research in Colombo, which generates income to support the centre's activities. In a ceremony held on June 13th at the Centre for Women's Research, U.S. Ambassador Julie Chang and Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijayasekara presented the Innovation Competition Award to representatives from SLEP and Swing Mobility. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, the global economy is expected to stabilize for the first time in 3 years in 2024, but at a level that is weak by recent historical standards. Global growth is projected to hold steady at 2.6% in 2024 before edging up to an average of 2.7% in 2025-2026. That is well below the 3.1% average in the decade before COVID-19, according to the World Bank's latest Global Economic Prospect Report. That was economic news.
Weather report.
The prevailing rainy condition in the southwestern part of the island is expected to be somewhat enhanced in the next few days, that's from the 19th of June. Several spells of showers will occur in the western Sabaragamu and northwestern province and in the Galle, Matra, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times on the western slopes of the central hills, the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee, Hambantota and Monragala districts. And before we conclude, the headlines once again. The President stated that through the Urume program, the government's intent is to express gratitude to the farmers. The Premier observed the progress of the Malwatu Oil project. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena inaugurated a renovated railway line in between Mihintale and Anuradhapura. A special toll-free railway service will be operated from Anuradhapura to Mihintale from today until the Poson Poe Day for the benefit of the devotees. A Geo Govia app saved 573 million rupees. Foreign news, Israel Prime Minister dissolves war cabinet and sports. Draper could go top of the world ranking, says Murray. And with that, we end this news broadcast from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's over to Mariela Van Dot to continue with the rest of the programs this Monday evening. Over to you, Mariela.
Thank you, Geetanjali. That was Geetanjali Ramanayaka bringing you the main news broadcast right here from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Wishing you nothing but the best and have a safe journey back home. The time is precisely 6:31. This is Radio Sri Lanka.